Have there been situations in your life that were a hell yes, an opportunity, an invitation that came your way that was so obviously what you wanted that you had no trouble saying yes to it? Maybe a woman you fell in love with, or a job opportunity you got, or even an invitation to a country like we're in Ecuador right now, or I'm in Ecuador by invitation by Michael, and I decided at last minute. Have you had invitations, opportunities like this where you had no trouble saying yes to because they were so clear? Or, on the other hand, have there been times in your life where you felt something's off, something's not quite right, but you can't really put your finger on it, what it really is? You can't really articulate what's off. Both of those situations are instances of desire. Both are instances where you either follow what you want, or you don't really follow what you want, or you have been compromising and not following what you want. I use the word tesão, like my friend Michael introduced to me, and tesão comes from the Brazilian tesão, and it meant originally hard-on, erection. And but over time it could also mean a hard-on, meaning it is what you really want, you really feel a hell yeah for it. And opportunities like that come in our lives, but sometimes we say yes to them and we follow our bliss, we follow what we want, and we live a life like we want it, of adventure. Or sometimes we start saying no to those, and if we do that often enough, we don't really know anymore what we want, and we don't really recognize the opportunities when they come our way. When we compromise ourselves in such a way that we no longer choose the opportunities that have come our way, we become blind to them and we don't really see them anymore. And today I'm going to tell you how important it is to say yes to the opportunities that come your way, to say yes to the things that really have heart and meaning to you, to follow your bliss, to follow your desire. And if you have been compromising a bit too much over the past couple of years and you no longer know what it is, there are tools to go back to what you really want and to start changing your life today and follow your bliss, follow your desire. I'm going to give you an example of my life. I think I never said this, or not in this way, but I'm going to show you how my life is me trying very hard to follow my desire. In 1999, I graduated from a University of South Carolina in the States, and I came back to Belgium, and it was the first time that I decided, or it was the only time that I decided that I was going to try to work. And so I did a job interview as a sociologist for a minister in Brussels. It's the only job interview I ever done, and I was accepted and I could work for them, and it was a great situation. I could work a lot of days at home. I had to do a couple of hours a day of work when I was there, and I had a whole career in front of me if I wanted that. You know, it was very safe. And but I remember doing that job for a couple of months, and after 6-7 months, I realized if there were 2 hours a day I had to do something I wouldn't do by my own choice. I would do them because it's my job, because I got paid for it. And I felt my body just revolting against it. I physically could not, in a way, live with myself doing that job. And I just stopped. I stopped doing that job because there were 2 hours a day, say for 3 days a week, say 6 hours a week, that I was doing something that I wouldn't do if I didn't, if it wasn't my own choice. I only did it for the money. And so I quit right there, and I said, I didn't know any other option, but I said, I'll go studying again, because that I knew and I enjoyed it. And I went studying 1 year in the philosophy of science back in Ghent. And I remember that year I discovered Bruno Latour, which was my favorite philosopher, for me the most important philosopher of the 21st century. And I was just studying him, and I remember I had one exam with Jean-Paul van Bennehem, bless him, my professor, and I hadn't studied for the exam. But I did bring what I had learned from Bruno Latour, following my desire, for my desire. I was really enthusiastic about him, and I told him during the exam about Bruno Latour, and so at the risk of failing that exam because I hadn't studied. And I remember him telling me at the end of the exam, so you really like Bruno Latour? And I said, yeah. He says, would you like to work with him? And I go, what? He says, yes, we're just gonna start a 6-year project, University of Brussels, where he worked, with the University of Paris, École des Mines, where Bruno Latour worked, and we have still an opening for a PhD student. It was by following my desire and speaking about him, I got the opportunity also to work with him. And of course, I said yes, he's my hero. So I moved to Brussels, I lived there, I started working with my heroes, and I did this for 5-6 years until I almost finished my PhD. But at the same time, even when they were my heroes, over time I felt the academic world wasn't as adventurous or sexy as I wanted it. I felt something was off, even though, again, I had a great job, I had a great career in front of me. I was going to be a professor one day, I had great pay, I even had girls because I went to university, and so it was great, but it wasn't 100% what I wanted. I felt something was off, something in me was yearning and longing for something different. It was adventure, even though I didn't really know it at the time, but I was very attuned to the feeling, I remember it. And around the same time, I met Zan Perrion, and he was teaching already about meeting women, dating women, relating to women. And we started talking about these things, and we were very aligned in what we really liked in our life, which was women, adventure, you know, and we really were keen on each other. We liked each other, and he invited me to come and work with him, and we started the Arza Morata. And I remember this was a couple of months shy of defending my PhD, and I didn't even hesitate. I didn't think twice, and I left the academic world in a matter of weeks. I left my house in Brussels. I gave all my possessions away, said to my friends, come and take them. All the furniture and TV I gave to the girl that was gonna live in my apartment afterwards. And I went carry on, and I went and traveled with Zan full-time. In a matter of weeks, I changed completely my life from having an academic life in Brussels to having an adventurous life in the world, speaking about love, relationships, women, and having these adventures. And so, said like this, you can see that my life is one of where where I'm very attuned to my desire, to what I want, to what I don't want, and that I'm also, when I'm faced with the opportunity of doing what I really want, following my desire, I have no trouble saying yes to it. To the point where I remember this, my father, my whole life for the past 20 years, was saying, oh, you just do what you want. You just do what you want. You're so selfish. You just do what you want. And just last year, I remember talking with him, and he said something like, you know, you're right, man. Just to do what you want is so important. I swear by it, to do what you want. Sartre said that a man who chooses for himself chooses for all men, because you choose for the good. And I really believe in it. My sister also, when I asked to everyone, what did you learn from me? And my sister said, after all these years when we're fighting, she says, you know what you taught me is to really do what you want, that it's good for you and that it's good for everyone. And so my message to you is exactly that, is to do what you want, to try to stay attuned to your desire, to your desire, and then to follow it. It is the core principle. It is one of the 12 themes of the course, The Way of a Seducer, is follow your what you want, follow your desire, follow your desire. It's the principle to go from phase 0 to phase 1. So it's a really important principle. If you are feeling right now that you're no longer attuned to your desire, it may be that you've been compromising a bit too much, and you no longer know what you really want. You know, what do I want? You no longer see the opportunities to follow your desire, to follow your desire. And there are tools to get it back. There are tools to become attuned again, and to see the opportunities that are everywhere, and to change your life right now. If you like these videos, like, subscribe if you want more. Let me know if you have comments. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know. All right, I'll see you later.